Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. The message I heard is, ouch, that hurts so bad. Don't go. The scripture comes from Wisdom 8 and 9. So I determined to take her to live with me, knowing that she would be my counselor while all was well, and my comfort in care and grief. For her sake, I should have glory among the masses and esteem from the elders, though I be but a youth. I should become keen in judgment and should be a marvel before rulers. They would abide my silence and attend my utterance. And as I spoke on further, they would place their hands upon their mouths. For her sake, I should have immortality, and lead to those after me an everlasting memory. I should govern peoples, and nations would be my subjects. Terrible princes hearing of me would be afraid. In the assembly, I should appear noble, and in war courageous. Within my dwelling, I should take my repose beside her, for association with her involves no bitterness, and living with her no grief, but rather joy and gladness. So here's the message, okay? For somebody. God has put you in this position to where you are calling out sin, okay? And this is not in a attempt to embarrass anyone. You are not shunning anyone. You are not trying to make anyone feel you are not trying to make anyone go into a depression or anything like that. But you are basically telling them the truth, and the truth hurts. Okay, that is basically what you're doing. You are telling them the truth, and the truth hurts. That like, and I'm being reminded, like God is showing me how with some street preachers, when street preachers are preaching the word of God, that a lot of times sinners will surround them and will get very angry and very aggressive with them. And in reality, the truth hurts. 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 God said the truth hurts. And they end up in this position to where they are like, it's typically they are the ones that are being aggressive. They are the ones that are being mean. They are the ones that are being violent. And God is saying the reason you are experiencing this with this person, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't say it in a mean way. You weren't trying to hurt their feelings. You weren't trying to tear them down or make them just think negatively about themselves. You were simply trying to provoke change. But because they have this stronghold, it's like a stronghold on them to do that sin. There is a stronghold that makes them feel like it is okay for them to partake in that sin. There is a stronghold that makes them believe that that sin is okay. And because of that, they are the ones, like, I just feel like you could be in a position to where you are calmly telling this person, or you are calmly saying whatever it is. You are saying this in your normal tone of voice. And this person feels like they need to argue with you. They need to fight with you. They have to come up with all these points and all these statistics and all these, like, it's like they just have to, they are constantly fighting with what the truth is. And every time you tell them the truth, you relay the truth back to them, they get upset and they want to come up with something else. But God says the truth is what it is. God says that you have wisdom as your counselor. Okay, you have God on your side, and God has given you the wisdom in order for you to tell this person the truth. And it may hurt their feelings. It may not make them feel like, I just feel like God is saying that, ouch, it hurt a little bit. It hurts a little, it stings a little bit. And it's not that you personally are attempting to sting them, or you personally are trying to hurt them, or you want them to be depressed or anything like that. But it is to provoke change, okay? So that they may see heaven, so that they may go on to glory. Because going down the path that they are going down, they are headed towards hell. And that's the message. God says that you didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel bad. And I feel like it's a situation where You have told this person this, and they're saying, ouch, ouch, ouch. But and in some cases they may actually be trying to hurt you, or may have put forth effort or put forth plans and schemes to try to cause you harm. But in reality, they don't want you to go. And they don't want you to go because while the truth hurts, it's also provoking healing. And it's healing. This is the kind of healing they didn't know that they needed. God says they desired it, but they didn't even know what they were desiring. They felt like something was missing and that something needed to be filled within them, but they didn't know what was missing. They didn't know what needed to be filled. And it wasn't until you came along and you helped them and you planted the seed to provoke change. And now it is blooming within them. And God may have separated you from this person, but God has separated you from this person so that they could see it for themselves. A lot of times when God puts us in these positions, the people that God sends us to talk to, they assume that we are just being mean and that we are just being awful people. And if they could just possibly get rid of us, then now they could go back to their sin in peace. So God removed you so that they would be in that position. They felt like you were in the way. You were in the way of them partaking in that sin. So now that you are all the way out the way and they are left alone with the sin, they are not happy. And they are not happy because deep down inside, they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. And you have planted the seed so that they can no longer say, well, I think God is okay with it. God has already sent you to plant the seed, letting them know he is not okay with what they are doing. There is no way that they can switch it around to make him okay with what they're doing. He is not okay with what they're doing, and that is the end. And, God is saying this person may be filled with grief. This person may be filled with a lot of turmoil and pain and confusion. And the confusion that they have within them is because they are resisting change. God says they are resisting this change. They are resisting this change. And if they would just let go of trying to control the narrative of their story, they would be able to feel comfort, peace, and joy. But because they insist on carrying on and doing whatever evil deeds and doing whatever sin and partaking into whatever sin, that is why they are finding themselves in a very filled with grief, in a very miserable position. And that's the message, okay? God says you do not have to feel guilty about this, okay? God says you have wisdom with you. So I determined to take her to live with me, knowing that she will be my counselor while all was well, and my comfort in carrying grief. For some of you, you were meant to be there with this person to keep them comfort and it's like they felt like you being there was causing them pain and anxiety, and now they are realizing that you were not the one, you weren't the problem, it was the sin. They kept trying to find some kind of way. Every time God would punish them for doing whatever this sin is, they would try to put that blame on you. But God removed you so that they cannot blame you anymore. It is the sin that they are partaking in that is causing them all of these problems and distress. It is the sin that they are living, that they insist on living with this sin. They insist on welcoming those demons. They insist on partaking in evil. And because they insist on partaking in evil, those demons are insisting to follow them. Since they insist on welcoming those evil spirits, the evil spirits insist on following them. And it's not your fault. They tried to make it seem like it was your fault. They tried to say that it was your fault. They tried to put all this blame on you and say that you were the reason this was happening. You were the reason that was happening. You did this, you did that. And God said he removed you so that no longer will they be sitting around trying to say everything is your fault. No longer will they be trying to say that you are doing all this evil and all these awful things to them. When in reality, if they would stop partaking in the sin that they insist on partaking in, everything will be good for them. They will be, not to say that they will be floating on cloud nine, but life would definitely be better for them. They would not have to deal with the wrath that they endure every time they partake in that sin. And this is somebody, every single time they partake in sin, they endure some kind of wrath from God. Regardless if it is a wrath of somebody finding out that they are partaking in that sin, getting caught red-handed, or if it is the wrath of God of the sin not tasting good, feeling good, or whatever it did to them anymore, or if it is the wrath of God of something happening to them every time they partake in that sin. Like, God is saying that he is causing these things to happen to them because he has told them countless times to stop. He has told them countless times to stop, and they are putting forth no effort. This is somebody that is ignoring God. They are not putting forth any effort to stop. They are putting forth no effort to stop. This is not somebody that is gradually coming to an end, or, gradually letting something go, or somebody that's trying. This is somebody that insists on going back to the sin. They insist, regardless if they are feeling like they are comfortable with it, okay? Like when the Israelites were taken out of Egypt and how they were thinking about going back. This person was removed from Egypt and they decide that they want to go back to it. And now they are finding out that it was not what they thought it was. It was not what it was caked up to be. They thought all their problems stimulated from you. They thought all their problems stimulated from what God had sent you to tell them. And now they are realizing that it is the sin and that you were right. And they are saying, no, don't go. Please come back. But in reality, God has removed you because they kept insisting that you were the problem. In some cases, this person just wants you to come back so they can start blaming you again. But God says no longer will they be trying to blame you and say that you are the reason that this happened and you are the reason of that and you just did this and they just act like you are just the big bad wolf and you just do everything and everything you do is just so awful and so terrible. God said that's okay. Now God will remove you and let them deal with their own madness that they created. They created that madness. They are the reason they are going through those things. They are the reason that they have to deal with the consequences of their sin. And they have been trying to say that it's your fault. But it is not your fault that they fell into sin. It is not your fault that they insist on going down the wrong path. It is not your fault that they refuse to turn away from that, whatever it is that they are doing, and turn back to God. That is a choice they made. They would abide my silence and attend my utterance. And as I spoke on further, they would place their hands upon their mouths. This is somebody, every time God is speaking to them, telling them not to do something, they are ignoring God. They are arguing with God. They are going back and forth with God. God said this is not up for discussion. He is not asking them. This is not a request that he's putting in. It's not like God, like when you request the order, when you make an order and sometimes they can make it and sometimes they can't make it exactly the way, sometimes you ask for it to be extra spicy and they give it to you bland. God said, no, this is not up for request. This is not an order he's putting in. This is not something that he's asking them. He's not saying, please, pretty please, can you please stop sinning? Can you please? God said he is not asking them. This is not a request. It's not a request. It's not a request. This is not up for discussion. He's not going to go back and forth with this person. Either they're going to let go of this sin or they are going to have to deal with his wrath. And God said the wrath is not going to stop until they let go of the sin. And if they never choose to let go of the sin, that sin will very well be their destruction. And that's the message. If they refuse to let go of the sin, that sin will be the end of them. It will be the end of them. It will be the end of them. It will be the end of them. I don't know who this is about and who it's for, but God said if they refuse to let go of their sin, it will cause the end. It will cause destruction. Because God said what he said and he feel how he feel and he feel how he feel and he said what he said. And if they refuse to listen to God, that will be the end of them. That's the message. Thank you guys for watching. This person think they gonna go to war with God. God said they got the wrong one today. They got the wrong one. They mess around and find out. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.